Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna talk about something if my dog will allow us to talk about something because he's currently digging through Christmas presents. Hey, what are you doing in there? Get out of there. So this is, to be honest, hi, look. What did you see? Huh? For those of you who don't know, because I go by Brooke.Lindsay here on YouTube, my maiden name is Fry. So my girlfriend got these LuLaRoe leggings and she was like, I have some leggings that I absolutely have to send to you. So she sent them to me and I started laughing. They're so comfortable. I wear them around the house all the time and I wear them to like do my makeup in. And it's funny because I'm just now realizing how blonde my hair looks on camera right now. I don't know if it's because I used purple shampoo last night in the shower or what, but wow, it is looking white. Doodle, get out of the closet, dork. Does anybody else's dog like have to be in the same room with them at all times? Like, I cannot be in my makeup room and him be like out in the hall or out in another room. Like, he has to be in here with me at all times. It's the same with the bathroom, the bedroom. Anywhere I go, like, he has to be right here. And I'm like, you are the neediest. Just give me a minute to breathe. Enough avoiding the part of the video that I've been wanting to talk about. And back before I even officially started this YouTube channel, other than my acting channel, for those of you that don't know, I did have an acting channel previous to my beauty channel, and I was so fed up with everything and so much I was going through in my life at the time that I just completely deleted the channel. I had all of my reels, a bunch of little acting pieces that I had done here and there, stories about me meeting Jason Statham, cool stories about some of the movies that I've done here in Ohio, and I just completely deleted it because I was just in a very bad place in life at the time, which is, it is what it is, but I completely deleted everything on the channel. So I knew that when I wanted to start like a fitness and a beauty and just a blogging all around channel, one of the topics that I wanted to talk about was not only self-love, but women and insecurities that we have, whether we put ourselves out there on social media or whether it's just in high school, whether it's growing up, at college, whatever you're doing or whatever it might be, there's always people that are going to think you're ugly, think that you're a bitch, think that you're nasty, think you're this, think you're that. And that is out of your control. You cannot help what other people think of you. And that is something that took me such a long time to realize growing up. I was bullied and I mean, everyone can say that they're bullied at some time, but yes, I was severely bullied in middle school and then it changed in high school. But then after that, you still see growing up the girl on girl war, and it stinks because I like to empower my friends. If there's something I know that they want to do, I want to be there to tell them, do it. Like, you can do this, whether it's personal training, whether it's starting your own photography business, whatever it is, you can do it, and you can do whatever you set your mind to if you have the drive and if you have the ambition to do it. It doesn't matter what it is. Do you want to be an actress? Do you want to be a singer? Do you want to be a movie star? Whatever it is you want to do, set your mind to it and you can do it. I am a firm believer in that. It's just for the people that work very hard day in and day out and never give up are the people that get to where they want to go, and the people that are just determined to have a future in what it is that they want to do. And I give people all of the props in the world for that. I started filming beauty videos on here, I would say over 2 years ago, before I even met my husband, and I would not post one of them. I felt so insecure about my nose, which is, you know, 100 years in what we're gonna start talking about, but this is just me leading into saying, you know, the background behind the way that I feel the way that I feel, and I have felt the way that I have felt, is my nose, and we will get into that. But I sat down on camera over 2 years ago and I filmed videos all the time, really cool things, makeup, fitness, just day in and day out life and my work and my dog and my family. And I refused to post any of those videos because I was so insecure sitting behind the camera. And it's funny because I have a history in modeling and I've done a couple photo shoots that have been published in magazines and I've done a couple movies. And then I was in one relationship that made me feel so insecure about myself that I just couldn't put myself behind the camera anymore, honestly. And it is so sad to know what the effects of one person can have on you. And for me not to follow a dream of something, I just want to do this for fun. This isn't something I see myself having a career in. This is just fun for me. I love doing all things beauty. I love working out. I love spending time with my family and shopping and talking about all things makeup and all things hair supplies. And I shouldn't have that taken away from me because of one person who made me feel insecure. And that is something that if one person watches this video, or if 10 people or 500 people watch this video, I just cannot explain to you enough to not let people control your thoughts, your mind, what you believe you can and cannot do. Do not let it happen, because there are people out there who love you and support you and will stand behind you. And just because one idiot says that you can't, or makes you feel like you're not pretty enough, or you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, do not listen to those people. They're toxic and they shouldn't be in your life for a reason. So let's end that rant right there. Maybe I will get back to that in videos moving forward, but for right now, let's talk about my insecurity that I am happy to be talking about to you guys, because everyone's human. We all have things we hate about ourselves. Some people, we don't like our hair, we don't like our skin, we don't like our complexion, we don't like our hair curly or straight or whatever it is that it might be. You don't care for your eye color, your face shape, or you think you have a double chin. I've heard it all. I've probably said it all. So I completely sympathize with everyone there. But let's talk about my biggest insecurity, and that is my nose. So let me tell you why. And some of this is kind of like comedy relief, so I hope that you guys enjoy this, because part of it is absolutely so hilarious that it's even hard to talk about without just like giggling. So back in middle school, I want to say 6th or 7th grade, I was at my best friend's house, and she had just her parents had just moved into this house, and I was sleeping over, and her ceiling fan was not working. And I think this is before, I don't know, this house was so new that like they didn't have their air on. I don't know, I don't remember the full details, but I know that we were hot as hell in her bedroom and her ceiling fan wasn't working. It had actually been spinning so much that like it had like literally fallen apart. So we took it into our own hands to be like, no, we're gonna put a fan up there. It's so hot in here, we're not gonna be able to sleep. So she had a very high bed frame that was honestly like super close to the ceiling. And we took her box fan, I mean, big old school box fan, mind you, and we placed it up on the top of her bed frame, which was, again, very tall. And we felt great. We like panned it down towards us so that it was kind of like hitting us like throughout the night. We felt great. We fell asleep. And in the middle of the night, I was so rudely awakened by this fan that goes splat onto my face. I woke up and I screamed because the corner of the box fan hit me right in the bridge of my nose. And it woke my friend Amanda up. I hope she watches this video someday in the future, and because we were just laughing about this about a month ago, and we still talk about this traumatic experience that happened to me. And by the time she like jumps out of bed, flips her light on, and comes over and looks at me, my nose was swollen like a balloon. It went like the bridge of my nose was swollen out. This part of my nose was swollen out. It didn't even look like a nose. It looked unbelievable, and I wish I had pictures. I never took any pictures, but it was obvious that my nose was broken, and I really took the brunt of the damage on the bridge of my nose, and it was just terrible, and it was some of the worst pain I've ever had. And after that, I let it heal. My nose went back to normal, somewhat normal. The swelling went away, but I still had a totally different looking nose. The bridge of my nose just looked like it had taken a hard fall. So I didn't do anything about it. I never went to the doctor. I never had it looked at. I should have, and you know, of course, if I could go back, I wish that I would have, but I didn't. And I just lived with it day in and day out, through middle school, through high school, and then college came around and I started getting sick all of the time. I told you guys previously in one of my little videos that I get sick a lot and I have a lot of sinus issues. Well, that is where the sinus issues stemmed from, was from this traumatic fall of this box fan that just ruined my life. So I went to a really good ENT doctor and they did x-rays on my nose, and this is in college. So this is 7-8 years later, and we looked over my x-rays and the doctor was in shock. He was like, you should have had this taken care of so long ago. I can't believe that your nose looks like this. And he was showing me the x-rays and showing me where a giant bone spur had grown inside of my nose that they had to take out, because he told me I was only getting like 20%, if that, of my oxygen through one side of my nasal passage. And the other side was getting everything else. So it was funny because he was like, does your left shoulder hurt? And I looked at him kind of strange and I'm like, I'm in here for my nose. What are you talking about? And he's like, does your left shoulder hurt? You have to be sleeping on your left shoulder all the time or you wouldn't be getting any air at all, like to your brain, no oxygen to your brain. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, I always complain that my left shoulder hurts because I sleep on it all the time. And I didn't even put 2 and 2 together that was the reason behind my shoulder hurting. So that was that. I had sinus surgery. I had a deviated septum. He went in and he completely scraped out, just so disgusting, my sinus passages, took out the bone spur, really just kind of did what he could to reconstruct inside of my nose, not the outside and the physical appearance of my nose. And this was something else that made me realize, like, oh wow, I have a really messed up nose, was when I asked him, I'm like, so will that help with like the look of my nose, like the bridge of my nose? And he's like, no, like you'd have to hire a plastic surgeon to come in to do that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that was so rude. This doctor was so good at what he did, but he was such a jerk. My mom and I looked at each other and were like, so many times throughout my consultation before I even had my nose surgery done, and we're like, it's a good thing you know what you're doing because you are just an absolute asshole, to be honest. So fast forward, I want to say coming up on 2 years ago now, I went to a different ENT doctor and he looked at my nose and told me I needed surgery again because my sinus passages have been blocked so bad again, and pieces of that bone spur were coming back, and that just the trauma of my nose was so bad that if I ever wanted to have the physical elements of my nose look better, I would have to see a plastic surgeon. So I had that surgery, but again, this had nothing to do with the bridge of my nose, the look of my nose looking crooked. It had nothing to do with any of that. He just went in and cleaned out the sinus packet. I keep saying sinus passages. He cleaned out my sinus passages again, and to be honest, I don't feel like it worked all of that well. This is just something I suffer with, and I probably will my entire life, to be honest, but none of that has to do with the way I feel about my nose in general. And from that happening with the fan incident to then being in college, I had an accident happen to my nose where we were stunning and a girl was new, and I was actually, if you're in college, if you know anything about cheerleading, the person that is the flyer is the person that gets thrown up into the air, and that was what I did. But we were teaching a girl that had came in like my junior year to be a flyer as well, and so I was helping out and helping kind of spot her. And when she came around, I thought she was, up in the air. I thought she was going to fall, so I lean in and her elbow got me right on the bridge of my nose again. And I could tell that my nose got swollen. It was a really hard hit. My coach thought that I actually had a concussion for a while, and I didn't. But my nose was messed up yet again. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I wish I would have hit my nose the other way. That way it maybe would have knocked it uncrooked. I don't know, but you knocked it the same way. So long story short, I've had 2 traumatic things happen to my nose, and I keep going back and forth between wanting to get my nose actually fixed. And some of you know a little bit about rhinoplasty or septoplasty, and I actually have a consultation at the end of the month in December for rhinoplasty, and I'm not sure that I want to go through with it yet or not. I know it's extensive. I know it's expensive, and it will help definitely with my breathing. It will help with a lot of different things other than just the look of my nose, but I just feel like it would be a win-win for me. I'm just extremely nervous to have the procedure done. I don't think my husband is really big into wanting me to have it done. And you know, then you have your friends and family that are amazing and say, oh, you don't need it, like you're pretty the way that you are, and you know, be happy with the looks that God gave you. And it's not that at all. Like, God didn't give me this nose, you guys. Honestly, like, I wasn't born with this nose. My nose suffers from the traumatic experience that it has had. Like, that's just the fact of the matter. That's just the truth. So every video I take, every picture I take, and this is not a sad sympathy story by all means, but this is just an insecurity of mine. When I'm in a picture or when I'm in a video, I am always drawn into my nose. I was just telling my husband the other day when he was going through my video, I'm like, all I can look at is my nose. That's all I see when I look at myself on camera or in a photo is my nose, and it bothers me so bad. And for those of you that are probably going to ask, yes, I've had nose fillers. I had nose fillers done 2 or 3 months before my wedding. That was the last thing I wanted, was to be looking at my wedding photos and hating the way my nose looked and hating all of my photos just because of my nose. So I had nose fillers done. I actually called my husband after I had them done, and I was crying because of how happy I was with the way that they looked. They're expensive, and you know, they only last like 6 to 8 months. So I'm obviously wanting to do something that's a little bit more of a permanent fix. So we'll see. Any recommendations or any advice that you guys have to offer would be great. Do you know anyone that's had rhinoplasty? Have you had rhinoplasty or septoplasty yourself? What do you recommend? What don't you recommend? Again, I'm really nervous because I have this consultation and I have no idea that I actually want to go through with the surgery. It's just something of mine that I'm so insecure about. I do have a little bump on the side. I don't know if you guys can tell from the angle on camera right now, but it drives me absolutely insane. You can tell that one of my nostrils is bigger than the other. That's from having a deviated septum, but it absolutely drives me crazy. And if there's something that I can do that, you know, will take that insecurity away from me, that would be absolutely amazing. This is something I've dealt with since middle school. And something that I've heard about, something that somebody I dated in the past used to like tease me about, and so many things have just made me insecure about it. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it bothers me, and my husband loves me for me, my family loves me for me, and that's great. I'm not saying I have it the worst. I'm not saying I have the ugliest nose known to man, but what I'm trying to say is if there's something that you are so insecure about that you want to change about yourself, in my honest opinion, I don't feel that there's any problem with changing anything about yourself, whether it's lip injections, nose filler, Botox, cheek fillers, whatever it is that you can do to yourself to make you feel better about yourself, I say do it. And some people are completely against lip filler, completely against Botox. I told my mom that I had had lip filler and Botox before, and she was like, what? Like, she was so appalled. She couldn't believe that I had had that done. And it's funny because even when I talked to her about my nose, she's like, no, if that's something that you want to do, I think that you should do it, because she, of everyone, knows how much my nose has bothered me over the years. And my close friends as well will tell you, I always have a comment about my nose, or my nose looks funny in that picture. Don't post that. That's a weird angle. So people get it, and the people that are close to you and love you for you will accept whatever it is that you want to change about yourself. You're not changing what's inside of yourself. State the obvious, but you're not. You're not changing what's in your heart. You're not changing your personality. It changes nothing about you other than the fact that you feel better. You feel prettier. You feel better about yourself, and that is what matters. Everyone has something that they want to change about them. Yes, I understand that. Whether if it's your body and you want a personal trainer, or you want Botox, or you want nose fillers, whatever it is, invest in yourself, because at the end of the day, you have to feel good about you, and you have to feel good about yourself. And if you can do, whether it's minor or whether it's, you know, large, if you want a boob job and you want bigger boobs, go for it. Do what you have to do to make yourself feel great. And that is something that I cannot stress enough. That is why I am so happy to be talking about this. I say happy because I'm not happy about my nose. I'm not happy about the way that it looks. But I'm happy to be sharing my experience with you guys and letting you know that it's okay to have insecurities. And even if you have something all over your face, you know, whether you have freckles all over your face and you hate them, but you want to jump on and you want to do YouTube and you want to go do photo shoots, do it. You are beautiful no matter what. Somebody out there loves you for you. If you haven't found them yet, you will. Your family loves you. Your friends love you. Just be confident in yourself, and I cannot stress that enough. So enough rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you took something away from it. Feel free in the comments, let me know about rhinoplasty, septoplasty. I'm so curious to hear everyone's stories and what you've heard about it, what you know about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next vent session. Bye.